Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very well. I just want to make sure you're comfy and cozy, you've got your snacks and your beverages and something comfortable to hold on to, whether it's a blanket or a pet or something, because today's video is going to be incredibly heavy and I do apologise for that. It just feels so heavy making more really crappy videos like this because, you know, there is so much good that happens within the tattoo industry, but there are also people that are weighing down the good with their heinous behaviour and they just keep getting away with it. So the reason why I wanted to make this video is, one, to make awareness, because I don't want any of you going to a tattoo artist that I'm about to mention. I don't want you to give this person the time of day. Don't even bother. Once this video is done, pretend they don't exist anymore, because they do not deserve a thought in any way, shape or form. Of course, the incident that I will be talking about today is pretty rare, but it does happen, and I want to make awareness for this. You know, for as long as I'm making content, I will not stop making awareness of people's crappy behaviour, because there is absolutely no place in the tattoo industry or the world for people like this, and in my opinion they need to be named and shamed and people need to be aware of their behaviour. Obviously I need to tell you more about what's going on, so right off the bat here I need to do a trigger warning for sexual assault, sexual harassment, inappropriate behaviour. If any of that is triggering to you and you can't watch this type of content, I wholeheartedly understand. I appreciate you being here for even this long, and if you need to click out of the video and leave because it's going to affect you, I totally understand, because this is such a heavy topic. And when I was writing notes about this, I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, I was sent this post by someone who I actually used to work with. Her name's Toya. She is freaking amazing. She is gorgeous. I just wanted to shout her out right here and now. I will leave her social media links down below, but she is an alternative model. But yeah, she sent me this post, which was an apology from a tattoo artist named Archie. We will read into that a little bit more later. Along with that, she also sent me a 15-minute Instagram reel from a tattoo artist called Taylor. Oh my god, so I've done a full-on Lauren and I messed up this guy's name multiple times throughout the video. Like multiple times. His name is Tyler, not Taylor. I'm just so sorry. Just a huge slip up on my part. Who was discussing Archie's behaviour. So this obviously led me down a rabbit hole, and the short story is, just so you know what you're about to get into, the tattoo artist Archie, who owns his own studio called Blood Orange Tattoo in Seattle, Washington, America, has been outed as allegedly, I have to legally say that, doesn't mean I don't believe the victims, it's a legal thing, okay? But he's allegedly been sexually assaulting women, many of them, or just being sexually inappropriate or just inappropriate, whether that's his friends or people he dates or his tattoo clients. Just broad spectrum. They're just all over the place, right? We're going to watch Taylor's reel to start off with so we can get a backstory on all of this and more information. Then we are going to look at some messages that Taylor has received from victims of Archie, and then we'll look at the apology from Archie. You could probably tell by my it's not good, but what do we expect in situations like this? Tyler starts off his Instagram reel by talking about his relationship with Archie, how he knows him. Tyler used to work with Archie. Archie actually used to be his boss. He then goes into how long he worked at the studio.
I hate even having to say this. I never wanted to have to bring it up to people. I wanted to just let it remain in the past, because my time working there with Archie, well, quite frankly, was a nightmare. I mean, there's a reason that I didn't stay there for very long. I made it like 9 months. I was trying to make it at least a year, just, I don't know, to be nice or something.
To me, this already sparked a red flag, because the majority of tattoo artists who work in a close-knit environment like a tattoo studio end up forming a family bond, and they rarely ever leave unless it's because they're opening up their own studio or they're moving out of town, or of course it's a very toxic environment and they just have to get out of there, which is what is happening in this case from Tyler's story.
Aside from anything sexually inappropriate, there was just a lot of business things that were very not okay. Real quick, including like one time at the Portland convention, he left all of my things, thousands of dollars worth of equipment, everything I would need to tattoo my whole entire career in Portland, when he insisted on taking it for me, even though I already had it arranged to be brought back with someone else. And then he tried to lie to me about it when I confronted him about it.
Are your red flags a flagging? Mine certainly are. Tattoo artists' equipment are their absolute livelihood. I'm sure, like Tyler said, you are all aware of just how expensive tattoo equipment can be, especially if it's very good, decent equipment. We're not talking about the Amazon tattoo machine kits here. I fully believe he probably had a huge arsenal of very expensive things, like the majority of tattoo artists, and to be so careless with that when someone has put their trust in you, that in itself is just really crappy behaviour. This also in itself shows Archie's lack of empathy and care for others.
The reason I bring that up is mainly to paint that the way he handled it when I confronted him, his initial response for like the first half hour was just him lying and denying and trying to twist the story.
From making content over the years like this and knowing people just like Archie, I'm sure we all know someone like Archie, you just know he's a grade A douchebag, to put it politely. That's about as politely as I can put it. I could say so many other things, but Archie never taking full accountability for his actions and hoping that he'll get away with it. Trust me, this is a pattern.
But where it starts to get a little bit sexually inappropriate was with my girlfriend, actually. I would bring her around sometimes, and I should also start off by saying too that Danielle has never, had something like this happen to her. She's never accused anyone of doing something like this. She's a very reserved person. The fact that she mentioned anything to me about it was saying a lot. I'm like, this clearly, like, she's not making this up. And what would she gain from that? Why would she make this shit up?
I fully understand what he's trying to say here, but the fact that he has to defend his girlfriend straight off the bat, right away, and be like, well, she's never said anything like this before, she wouldn't make something like this up, hurts my dang soul. But these are the words of a man who is very aware of women not being believed. He knows that there's going to be a chance that his girlfriend wouldn't be believed or she's going to be made out to be a liar. Women always have this fear of never being believed when they come forward with claims of going through sexual harassment, assault. It pretty much gets ingrained into our soul as soon as we come out of the womb that no one will believe us, or we're conditioned to take this kind of behaviour as a joke, or it's not that serious. And women who often come forward with allegations like this are often mocked and bullied online or within their personal life, with people not believing them, or they'll have people try and downplay the whole situation and be like, oh, it's not that bad, like, come on now. And women are never fully heard because of this. Another thing that rubbed me the wrong way is the fact that Tyler said that his girlfriend has never said anything like this before. But like, even if she had, and she had been through something else of this nature, that shouldn't mean her credibility should be shot because of it. Nobody should ever feel like they have this one sexual harassment accusation voucher per lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people are sexually harassed or assaulted multiple times by multiple different people. You don't get to hang that over someone's head. You know, like, I know what he was trying to say, of course, but, you know, just because someone may have experienced this before and come forward with something like this before doesn't discredit them, or it shouldn't. I know sometimes it does, because sometimes people will be like, oh, you know, attention seeker over here, but that's part of the problem. Anyway, back to Tyler talking about Archie.
There were many times where, he would be like, you guys should try being poly. And I would be like, yeah, me and Danielle are fine being monogamous. We like being monogamous, but thank you, though. And he would just keep bringing it up. and I would keep telling him, yeah, no, I'm not interested.
Talking about relationships in a work environment isn't wrong, nor do I think it should be. If it's consenting, of course, everybody has boundaries, but to constantly bring something up, even though this person has said no multiple times, that in itself is incredibly problematic. Like, take no for an answer. No means no. Move the hell on. So of course this is more character witness to Archie's behaviour and how he likes to ignore people's boundaries.
Where it started to get really inappropriate was, at first it started with just hugs. Like, he would go out of his way at parties or whatever to, like, go and, like, hug Danielle, like, very long, very, very robust hugs.
I hate to say this because I don't want it to be true, but I don't doubt for a second that the majority of people watching this have been in this incredibly uncomfortable situation. I have plenty of times, and it's just not a nice feeling. That's probably just the best way for me to explain it. It's not fun. In social settings, for the majority of us, I would believe it's easier to just go along with things and just hope that it ends soon instead of making a fuss about it and coming across as a drama queen by people around you. You'll have people try and gaslight you or whatever and just be like, well, it's not that bad. It's just a hug. It's not like you're naked. Like, calm down, right?
But then one time we're out at the bar, or at a bar, and I don't drink personally, but Danielle drinks and they all drink. So we go to this bar. Danielle finishes her drink and she's like, I'm gonna go grab another drink. So she leaves and immediately Archie follows and I stay behind, not thinking anything of it. And she's waiting in line, and the bar is not even that crowded. I mean, it's like a little bit of a narrow passway or hallway, but it's not crowded. He brushed his penis up against her ass and thigh to the point that she felt his penis. Like, this wasn't just like a little casual, like, oh, he's just trying to squeeze through real quick. It's like, no, like, he grinded his dick on her ass.
This is what hit me right in my freaking soul, because I have had that kind of thing happen to me multiple times in a workplace. It wasn't in a bar, but it was a place I used to work at. And I obviously don't want to make this about me too much because, it's not about me. I'm not a victim in this situation that we're talking about right now. But I want to share this because I want people to feel not so alone, and just to share that I know how much it sucks and how uncomfortable it is. I actually spoke about my experience in a very old video. I'm going to put some clips in. I'm putting clips in just to back up what I'm saying, because here we go. Like, I've been conditioned that nobody is ever going to believe me, so I'd rather put in an old clip that shows, like, this is from ages ago, and, I'm not just sitting here making it up. Like, it's part of the problem, isn't it? I volunteered at this charity shop. I just wanted to get experience, like retail experience, because I was struggling to find a job within retail. So I thought, let me volunteer at a charity shop for a couple of days a week. The manager was very, very bubbly, very friendly. And then I'd be working at the till. The till was like here in front of me, so to say. And there's other things at the side here. I think he kept some files or whatever. And it was quite a tight space, so he would slide behind me and, like, his dickage was like rubbing against my ass type thing. He was like, oh, sorry. I was with my ex-boyfriend at the time, and he's like, oh, you have a boyfriend, he's very, very lucky type thing. And he was just making all these snide, disgusting comments that were just not needed, and it just made me so uncomfortable, unbelievably uncomfortable. And after he'd made an inappropriate joke or whatever, he would like say, oh, I'm joking, it's all a bit of banter, But yeah, I just know that that whole thing it's horrible.
She tells me about it, and I'm like, well, what should we do? Should I confront him on it? Like, what's the deal? And she's like, no, I don't really want to make a big deal about it. It's just like, whatever. And I was conflicted, because it's like, he's my boss and he has a bigger platform than me. So it's like, and I know from every other time I've interacted with him on something important where I need to confront him on his behavior, he will deny and he will lie and he will twist things. So I'm like, this is putting me in a weird spot. And honestly, it's like, if I take it to this place, I mean, it could be like career suicide, because everyone thinks that he walks on water, because he intentionally goes out and meets new people and networks, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like the way he's doing it, it's almost like to surround himself with a community of people that will have his back when he eventually fucks up.
This is a prime example of the boys club within the tattoo industry. Sadly, so many tattoo artists surround themselves with as many tattoo artists as possible, and they get all buddy with them and try and make other tattoo artists feel special, and they give off the I'm a nice guy kind of vibe, so then they have an army of people to defend them should anything come out about them. You know, tattoo artists will come forward and be like, it's not that bad. I'm not aware of this behaviour. No, I've never seen this. Oh, you're all being so freaking dramatic. That kind of thing. I have seen it so many times. Luckily, in this case, this hasn't happened. There has been such a huge outrage among tattoo artists coming forward and condemning Archie's actions, which is freaking fantastic to see. I love to see this. Obviously, a social media witch hunt is probably, no matter what the situation, it's never a good thing, maybe. I don't know. That's up to you to have your opinions on that. Some people will be like, well, they deserve it. Some other people will be like, oh, be careful, you know, like this could turn bad. But I don't know. Like I was saying, it's incredibly rare for people to condemn a tattoo artist's actions, especially when they have such a huge following and a lot of respect. You know, people like Archie get protected for many, many years. We'll see more about that in a minute. The whole boys club mentality within the tattoo industry needs to end now. It needed to end years ago. And many years ago, it was just about protecting your fellow tattoo artists. You know, when the tattoo industry was quite an underground scene, it was all, you know, to help each other, give people advice and become friends and networking and all of that. But it turned so toxic and it turned into people protecting their tattoo artist friends, you know, and never mentioning disgusting behaviour that other tattoo artists are guilty of. It's gone far too far. There are people being hurt and lives are being destroyed because of this. I've spoken about this before in an older video where a tattoo artist in the UK had a ton of allegations against him. It's pretty much the same case of what we've got going on here. But yeah, I'll leave a link down below to that.
Apparently, under the table, he grabbed her thigh. Again, I was unaware of this until after the dinner was over, and she's like, oh my god, he grabbed my thigh. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the fuck? And then we just went through the same thing over again. We're like, I guess you just can't come around anymore.
Now, obviously, I'm not in this situation, but for me, this would be a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me type of situation. And I would have gone nuclear. Tyler's restraint and self-control is impeccable, let me tell you. I have more to say about the way Taylor handled this in a minute. But yeah, as we can see, Archie has major creepy vibes, to put it politely. Just the audacity.
So many other things that happened there. And eventually I was just like, I can't handle this anymore. I have to leave. And I even made jokes to people. Like in my close friend circle, they're the only people that have known about these things this whole time. I told them as it was happening. I bitched about it ever since, but I didn't tell the public about it or any strangers because I'm like, I'm really not trying to look like a shit starter. So I'm just telling people that I know very intimately, you know, like what he's like. And I had kind of made jokes where I'm like, yeah, I mean, at the very least, I need to get the fuck out of there because I'm like, he's going to hit on the wrong client or something and they're going to fucking put him on blast and he's going to get canceled and I do not want to be around for that.
Again, I want to give Tyler the benefit of the doubt because he's taking action right now and that's great. That's fantastic. Better late than never, right? But where was this energy beforehand? To me, he was part of the problem to start off with. By just telling a select few people that he was getting really bad vibes from Archie and he's had these experiences with Archie, you know, especially with his girlfriend. Maybe I'm in the wrong to have this opinion and please, you know, do sound off your opinions down below. It's just the whole, I do not want to be here when this all comes out. I don't want to be guilty by association and saving his own back. That's all he cares about, right? That's the vibe I'm getting right now. You know, what about all the women he's harassed? Why is that not in the forefront of your mind? He's a danger to any female client or co-worker. He's even harassed your girlfriend. You know, like, why is that not what you care about right now? Why do you want to get out of there and not be in that environment when it all goes down? You know, this is part of the problem within the tattoo industry. It can be the complete opposite of the boys club, and it can be every man for himself, you know? Like, as long as I'm okay, you know, that's all that matters. There's two spectrums here. It's either let's all band together and protect these people, or screw these people, I'm out of here, because, you know, what about my reputation? He harassed your girlfriend. Isn't that enough?
Get a fucking message from someone detailing a very, very gruesome and violent sexual assault. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, like, again, like, I was not all that surprised, but I was surprised with the level of violence behind it. I always assumed that he would just, you know, hit on the wrong person, like I said. I didn't think it would be so gruesome.
Shocking! Oh my gosh! A shocking person does more shocking things? Come on now.
And even I kind of wrestled with it because I was like, you know, I know that this is real. Of course I believe this person. But I'm like, I just got to check. And so I was asking other people, and the more and more we find out through talking with other people, there's many other allegations. There's many other artists that are like, you know, yeah, I've been bitching about him forever, but no one took me seriously because, you know, everyone thinks Archie's fucking amazing.
Bitching about someone gets you nowhere. How are future clients going to be aware of someone's reputation if it's all just very hush-hush within the tattoo industry? We as tattoo clients have a right to know who is tattooing us, who is scarring us for life, and who is touching our body, and who is all up in our personal space. Of course, we don't have the right to know absolutely everything. We don't need to or want to know the ins and outs, but I would like to know if I'm being tattooed by an absolute creepazoid. You know, to be made aware of a tattoo artist's actions, you know, through social media, by speaking up about it, is enough. Like, this is absolutely frightening, and this isn't the only time something like this has happened. But it's a case of everyone in the tattoo industry knows, or a select few people know, and they don't say anything. And it's like, why? Why are you protecting these people? So many people have been put in danger because people do not address it or talk about it. You literally have to scream from the rooftops about it. This isn't something silly. This is sexual assault. It ruins people's lives. Having a tattoo artist that is capable of these things and thinks it's okay to do these things and gets away with doing these things, being allowed to work in a public setting where there is clients and customers, is grotesque. How can anyone think that this is okay and to be silent? Now, of course, there is a power dynamic here. I'm fully aware of that. Archie is a popular tattoo artist by the sounds of things. He is, you know, quite well respected, or once was, and going up against him could have been career suicide. That being said, if you know Archie is guilty of these things, I mean, you saw it firsthand with your girlfriend, and people are taking Archie's side, and you might find it hard to work somewhere else because, you know, you went up against Archie. Why would you want to work in a studio like that anyway? Why would you want to support or give money to, should you be renting a chair, to people that are fully for Archie's behaviour and protecting him? Why would you want to be in that environment? I don't get it. I really don't. Taylor actually addressed something like this happening when it comes to someone coming forward and being like, nah, this doesn't sound real to me.
And I just want to say real quick that it makes me feel horrible for not coming forward with this before. But it's like, as I've said, it's like, you know, look what's happened to everyone else who's come forward with stuff. And look at how he fucking, you know, twists narratives all the time. And, you know, and I already, just within the first day of getting this allegation, one person I talked to, who's in the industry, by the way, straight up just, like, didn't believe it. They didn't say it outright, but they clearly did not believe it, you know, and they even went as far as to basically say that, well, he's neurodivergent, so people just need to be better with their boundaries, and then stuff like that won't happen.
I'm not shocked at all that one slimeball, weaselly snake has come forward and been like, nah, no, sounds fake to me. He seems like an alright guy to me. Like, this is what people have to deal with. But instead of all banding together to protect the creep, they should band together to call it out. Another thing that I want to address is the fact that it was mentioned that Archie is neurodivergent and that being used as a defense. I personally don't want to comment on that too much because I don't have any experience with that. I don't know how true this is, and I don't want to misspeak or upset anyone or anything like that. But I am, of course, aware that some neurodivergent people do struggle with some or a lot of social cues, and we need to take that into account. Absolutely. That being said, and I hope I'm not stepping out of line here, but with that being said, if people were aware of the fact that, you know, what Archie is dealing with here is affecting his work and it's upsetting clients and people in his life should have pointed him in the right direction to get him help. Also, bringing this up, to me, again, probably shouldn't comment on it, is a huge slap in the face to other neurodivergent tattoo artists who work incredibly hard at becoming a tattoo artist. And it's just like, what are you doing here? Like, that's not...
There was a shop that had someone graffiti, you know, Archie assaults people at, you know, name of the shop. And they even, this is how wrapped around his finger everybody is, and how much he has everything on his side, is that they asked him about it point blank, and he was like, oh, it must just be one of my crazy exes or something, and they believed him.
Whew, the crazy ex trope. Who saw that coming? Raise your hands now. Let's raise your hands. Did you see that coming? I saw that coming. We all saw that coming, right? Of course. Behind every predator or arsehole, there is a crazy ex story. It's just another way to blame people and to not take accountability. And of course, this probably wasn't a crazy ex. It was probably a client or a tattoo artist who worked there and just wanted to give out a warning. Or maybe it was a crazy ex, but let's take out the crazy. Maybe it was just an ex and they were just like, I'm sick of Archie's behavior.
Just so convincing, you know, and he really just paints anyone that comes after him as being, you know, crazy, jealous, obsessive, you know, like whatever. That's what happens, and he's been getting away with it for God knows how long.
Because he's been protected by his power dynamic and the boys' club.
You don't want to, like, accept, like, the gravity of the situation, so, like, the way I kind of coped with it was just being like, wow, maybe I'm crazy, and, like, you know, like, no one else is seeing it, so, like, I must just be a fucking idiot and just reading into it too much. So
this is the art of someone that can gaslight like it's a profession and they have been training their whole life for it. It's sad, and I don't blame Tyler one bit for feeling like this. The art of a professional gaslighter is the fact that they can make you blind to it all.
This is a dangerous person, and he works in a private studio with lots of young female clients, lots of young female guest artists. I don't know, you can see right on the page, it's like 90% young, conventionally attractive white women that he's got working there, you know, from time to time. And you're alone in this private studio that's locked 24/7. It automatically locks on the second story.
This is terrifying. This is scarier than any horror film I have ever seen, and I have seen a lot of horror films in my time. I spoke about this many times, but I will bring it up again because I feel like this needs to be drilled into people's head to make them aware. Anybody can be a tattoo artist, anybody. As long as you comply with the country's or the state's law when it comes to hygiene and other factors like that. It's a free-for-all. Literally anybody can be a tattoo artist. There is no background checks or anything like that. There are many jobs where if you are accused of sexual harassment, assault, etc., you will lose your job and you will find it incredibly hard to get a job in that field because your reputation will be tarnished. And nobody wants to hire someone that is like that, for the most part anyway. Obviously there are scummy people out there that don't care, but for the majority of the times, you know, you'll get a reputation and no one wants to have anything to do with you. And I fully believe it should be the same within the tattoo industry, but with the tattoo industry. It's very unregulated. Like I was saying, anybody can be a tattoo artist. Anybody can open up their own studio. And it's so freaking scary because tattoo artists work with people. You know, we trust them to take care of us and not abuse our trust. You know, like, how dare they take advantage of that for their own gain? There is no place for this. There is no place. Something needs to be done. Something needs to change. I don't know what, I don't know how, but more strict regulations need to come in place, you know?
And to anyone that, you know, has any experiences with him, please feel free to reach out.
And people did just that. Taylor had many messages from victims of Archie. He shared some of these on his Instagram stories. These are, of course, all anonymous, as they should be. I'm going to read a couple of them. Taylor has a highlight reel addressing this whole thing and sharing a lot of the messages that he's received and stuff like that. It's called Predator Watch. Creative, I guess, I don't know. So if you want to read more into this, of course, then go and check that out. I'm just going to read a couple of the messages that he shared. I don't want to read too many because this, again, will make the video super long. This is where it's going to get pretty damn graphic, unfortunately. So I'm going to put a timestamp up here now. If you want to skip the messages obviously go into detail about stuff that Archie has done in a very just graphic way, so if you're uncomfortable hearing about that, of course, do skip. Yes, absolutely, this was about 4 years ago and I was very intoxicated, so I might remember some details wrong. And I'm a little scared too, because he is such a self-preservation based person. I expect him to be able to know who all of these people are based on their stories, and then there will be mass victim blaming for everyone, and I don't know if I'm ready to handle that, which we will not be doing. We will not be victim blaming at all here. Thank you. But to be honest, feels like the right thing to do, so here it goes. In 2019, I met him through a mutual friend. I had maybe 2 or 3 drinks total, but got pretty intoxicated. About an hour into the second bar, we all went to my friend, left, so it was just me and him. He then all had us go to another different club, and at some point, somehow I ended up at his apartment. I think we walked, but I don't really remember. We get to his apartment and he takes ketamine or something, and I start getting uncomfortable. He sits next to me and starts kissing me, and I'm pursing my lips as closed as I can, and he gets offended and starts being really mean and insulting me. I start texting this friend that introduced us saying he's really high on something and I'm uncomfortable and want to leave, but she wasn't responding. I asked if we can go outside so I can smoke. He's like, sure. He's continuing to say really mean things to me, but still kept trying to touch me, telling me how pretty I am, but then followed up every compliment with an assault. Whole time I'm on my phone kinda, under my leg, calling a lift. Once he got there, I was like, oh my god, my lift's here, gotta go, bye. Didn't think about it at all until today, seeing these stories, and it all kinda rushed back to me. So basically one night I had a horrible night at work. I work at a strip club, and in the Uber on the way home, Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance With Somebody was playing on like multiple screens in the car. So I got home and was like, oh my god, Archie, look, listen to this song. And I was laying underneath his legs at the foot of the bed. He didn't want to look, so instead he kicks me in the face. I scrambled to the ground and grabbed a metal dildo and swung it at his ankles. He was standing up on the bed at that point. We then started brawling for like probably 20 minutes, just destroying everything in his house. Bookcases, downlights torn apart. I finally grab a bat to get him away from me, and he catches me eventually and chokes me out unconscious. I wake up to him violently shaking me, and I'm naked, screaming at the top of my lungs, covered in blood. I run around and destroy more things in the house. I'm just freaking out at this point. At that point, Archie calls the cops and they show up, and I'm like still screaming bloody murder, naked, covered in blood, just almost died. And he's all calm and collected, cop caller. So the cops can't figure out who's the aggressor and take us both to jail. Anyways, I will note also that the first time he ever tattooed me, I was basically homeless and 18, very naive person at the time, and he had me come after hours to his shop in Renton to get tattooed. He fucked me mid tattoo, and before he even started, I asked about the cameras. He told me they didn't work and just brushed the topic away. Then 2 weeks later, he sent me the screenshot of us fucking on cameras. Then 2 years later, he sent me the complete video of us fucking. I didn't even know there was a video for 2 years. He just kept it from me the entire time. The first time I ever felt scared around him was the second time we hung out, got tattooed. We tattooed and banged, and he drove me home afterwards. He was driving 90 miles an hour on I-5, telling me if anyone knew about us, something bad might happen to me, but that he really liked me and wants to see me. He had a girlfriend for the first 2 years we were together. Forgot to mention that the first 9 hours I was in jail for that first story, I was handcuffed to a hospital bed with a neck brace on. Anyways, there's loads of stories of sexual abuse and violence that happened in the 4 years, and I'm so sad to hear he continued in the same way to many people. I just want to warn you, this one's really dark. Obviously, the ones I've just read are also horrific, but this is where it just gets terrifying. And I can send you the case number. All my friends at various shops are banding together to make him leave our community, or at least take full responsibility and accountability for his actions. Let me know if you have any questions. Hope you're well. I heard y'all used to work together, so I thought you might like to know. Oh my god, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I can help. I know about Archie. Please tell me anything you'd like to share. Thank you. He drugged and raped an apprentice from a shop we worked at together. I tried to help her, but she was afraid of him and sided with him. I was fired, and so was she. She was 18, just barely 18. Oh my fucking god, thank you for telling me. He drugged me and I was raped by another tattooer. I'm so sorry. It's such a small community. He tried to blacklist me because he was afraid of what I know. Oh my fucking god, I am so shocked. There are also some comments on Taylor's Instagram reel from people who knew of Archie or had met Archie. He flew my friend out here where she knew basically no one, got her drunk and tried to continue drinking after she said it's probably better for them not to drink around each other. Then she SOS calls me because he was kicking her out at night time. Previous to this, he was trying to give me a tattoo free of charge depending what she did with him. I never got good vibes from him, and every artist I know has said something on the lines of his work is good but isn't worth it, and others saying don't go alone and don't work out any deals with him. I always took that as them warning me about sexual assault. Okay, can I just mention something? I am so sick to death of seeing this in the tattoo community, as I'm sure everyone is. I wanted to mention I followed him for a while, and I remember seeing something of his that made me feel uncomfortable, so I unfollowed. I think it was either overly sexualizing client, said something, liked something shitty about trans people. In any case, it yucked me out. By the way, if you can hear outside noises like birds or my neighbours or trains or whatever, I do apologise. It's so hot in my office right now that I have to have the window open. I do apologise. His story sometimes had content that made me feel like the vibes were really off too. I just had the gut feeling. I'm so proud of you for saying something now, but I'm so sick of these people seeing shit from a mile away, but nobody ever does or says anything until years later. I'm so glad this has been addressed now. Thank you so much for speaking up. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. He asked me if my husband and I were open out of nowhere one day. I thought we were building a legit friendship, but he claims he was drunk and said we're both hot and whatever, and he wanted to hang out, but we never made the time before my husband and I moved. Thank fucking goodness. I don't usually comment, but I can't say I'm surprised. I had weird feelings about him, and also he's rude and was unprofessional, never fully finished my work, and, well, just unprofessional. That is all. Also, this was back in 2016, so I can only imagine now. Taylor also went on to post this onto his Instagram stories. Also, if anyone of the victims or anyone at all needs professional help from this, I have someone who offered their services. She is a licensed psychologist. DM me if you want the contact info, which I feel like is a great gesture and very much needed. We need to take care of these victims, of course. They've been through a lot. Taylor then went on to say this. Also, I just want to make some points to anyone who might be silently downplaying things. The thing is, even if you don't consider some of these things to be full-on assault, the thing is Archie would consider it to be if it was anyone else doing it. He virtual signaled online constantly about having safe and consensual sex and promoted feminism, always talked about how creepy other artists were for honestly doing far less. Like one time he was bitching about an artist who drew up tattoos designed for underboob tattoos, and he was like, that's predatory, and so it's ironic that he can apparently drug people, sleep with inebriated people, blackmail people with pictures, footage, send unsolicited dick pics constantly, hit on barely legal teenagers, fuck clients, cheat on his partners, and have unprotected sex without being honest about certain STDs he has, and at best telling them after. Physically hit hit people without even asking consent, etc. And somehow he isn't one of those dirtbags. None of this is acceptable behaviour, and all of it combined is 1000% a predator. He knows better, he knows what he's doing is wrong, and just virtue signals online to convince people he's not like those other guys. Shall we pretend to be shocked that this is Archie's MO? Did we have this on our bingo card? He has every red flag a human can have at this point. As of now, legal action is being taken against Archie, thankfully, and there's also action being taken to protect the victims from coming forward. Here's another resource if anyone needs it. DM me if you are interested and I can send their contact info. Hey, I don't know how I can help, but if anyone needs help with drafting protection orders or what have you, hit me up. I'm not a criminal attorney and the prosecutor's office will handle all the stuff anyway, but if there is any backlash on any of the victims past and they want an anti-harassment order or protection order, I can get everything drafted up for them. Archie needs to be an example of what can happen should you behave like this. Like, this needs to be spread everywhere. We cannot let people like Archie get away with stuff like this. And that's why I wanted to make this video. I want to do as much as I most possibly can to raise awareness for this and, you know, scream it from the rooftops. Since this has all come about, there have been tattoo artists that have come forward offering to help Archie's existing clients with their existing tattoos that are ongoing from Archie, so people that may have sleeves or leg sleeves, chest pieces, back pieces ongoing, and should these people not want to be tattooed by him anymore because of what's come to light, you know, these tattoo artists are saying, hey, I'll take you on, I'll finish this piece for you. This is also good for people that have been tattooed by Archie who now want to cover up their tattoos from him or have a rework to change the tattoos so they're not reminded of this disgusting human. And this just shows that there is that good side of the tattoo industry, and there needs to be so much more of this. So many more tattoo artists coming together and being like, fuck this tattoo artist. Absolutely not. I'm going to take care of your clients because you clearly can't. I'm so incredibly sorry for the jump scare right now because I've taken off the majority of my makeup. I've been lazy with it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start editing the video now. I wanted to do my own sort of act of kindness. I know using my platform for awareness is a step, but I want to try and do more. And I, of course, am not a tattoo artist, so I can't offer like free tattoos or anything. I can't move on over to Seattle and help these people because I am just, you know, a small town girl in England. So the only thing that I could think of is to obviously donate money, which I will be doing, and to create a t-shirt and jumper and a hoodie. So this is what we got on the back. It says "End the Tattoo Boys Club" on all of these. The front print is, it says "No means no." I use Teespring for my merch, so they take quite a big percentage of, you know, when people buy things, but then I get a small percentage. It's not much. They print everything, send everything out. It's a lot easier for me because I don't have the space in my house to have a ton of merch to sit in here, unfortunately. So I, you know, have a middleman, so to say. And what I'm going to do is any money that is made from those 3 items are going straight to 2 charities. I'm doing one charity in America because this is where it's going down, and I want to do a charity in the UK just because I am aware that there has been incidences like this in the UK, and I am of course from the UK. So yeah, any money made from these items will be going straight to these charities. The charities I have chosen are RAINN, that is the charity that is in America, and for the UK I'm going with the Survivors Trust, and these 2 charities help people that have been victims of sexual assault. They offer a lot of help and resources to those people, and any money that is earned from these items will be split in the middle and go to both of those charities. And again, like I said, I will be donating some money also. I'll keep you updated on that. I will be posting, you know, how much is going to charity on Instagram, and I'll obviously do a, what is it called over here on YouTube, a shorts or something like that. I'll keep you updated, of course, and be open and transparent about all the money that is raised and donated. And I'm not one to plug my merch or mention it all the time or anything like that. I kind of find it kind of annoying when other people do it, you know, like buy my merch, but this is for a good cause. So yeah, we need to end the Tattoo Boys Club, and if you can share these items or this video or whatever, that will help so dang much. So yeah, thank you so much. So that's pretty much it on Taylor's side of things, on the victim side of things. as I am now recording this on Wednesday the 14th of June at 10:30 a.m. my time, England time. I'm not sure what time that would be in Seattle right now where this is all taking place. But anyway, now that we've looked at Taylor's side of things, we are now going to look at Archie's apology. Of course, it's on the Notes app. What is more heartfelt than a Notes app apology? There have been very serious and alarming allegations made against me recently, and I think it's important to speak on behalf of myself, my partner, my business, and those of been affected by this news. When I opened Blood Orange, it was always my hope that it be an inclusive, safe, positive space for guests, clients, and artists alike. It pains me to learn that people I care about have been so deeply hurt by me, and I in no way want to detract from their feelings or experience. It is of the utmost importance to me to see my actions honestly and discuss them transparently, which is why I am speaking out now. I am ready to listen, and I want to be the kind of person people trust. I am sorry to each one of you that has felt unsafe, and I am hoping to mend any and all confusion or pain has been caused. Everybody deserves their own space to process, heal, and grow. I want to give that space and respect to anybody that has been hurt by me, and also let you know I am not sweeping any of these complaints about myself under the rug. I also acknowledge that this is not enough and more needs to be said. I'm still trying to collect my thoughts, but want to make it clear that I am not ignoring this. It truly is giving, I'm sorry I got caught, but I'm the real victim in all of this. No real accountability whatsoever. How can you proofread that and think, oh yeah, that'll do, that's fine. The only thing I admire him for, if that's not the right word, but whatever. The only thing I admire him for is the fact that he's kept his profile open, and he did have the comments on for quite a while when I was like making notes and when I first come across this, but they have now obviously been limited. But yeah, most people will just go into hiding, lock everything down, pretend that this isn't happening. We've seen that with Tattoogate. But there's still time, there's still a chance that Archie will just be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going on private. Okay, I have an update. The earlier screenshot I have for Archie's profile says he has 1,113 posts. I had a quick look before I wanted to render this video, just in case there's been any updates, in case he's posted something else, in case his profile has been put on private. And I noticed this. He went from 1,113 posts to 969 posts. I had a quick scroll through, and it seems that he deleted a lot of personal posts from tattoo conventions where there's photos of him with other people. I believe he's done that because he's either had people request that he takes them down because they don't want to be guilty by association, or he wants to come across as the nice guy and doesn't want to drag anyone down with him. I don't have any proof of what has been deleted apart from this one picture that I screenshot that was at the beginning of my video where he looks like Jesus. But yeah, I can't seem to find this photo anywhere, so I think he's been on a deleting spree trying to hide things. I didn't have a full-on dig when I was looking at his profile when I started making this video and writing notes, because I didn't think there would be anything super incriminating on his Instagram. Maybe there was, I don't know. But from memory, the only things that I've noticed that are missing are personal photos. Here are some people's reactions to his apology. It pains you because you were called out and your livelihood is in jeopardy. This is the classic apology where no real accountability is taken, dime a dozen, and you're totally right, it's not enough. You don't deserve to hold space in tattooing. Pack it up, bud. So glad I followed my gut instinct with you. The weirdo vibes were heavy even through DM. Then go and admit to the police what you did to each victim, even the ones we don't know yet. Bro got rape allegations and saying, sorry I made you feel that way. Lock this man up. Confusion. There's no confusion here. There are multiple people who are all sharing incredibly similar, horrendous stories about you. What a horrible apology. There's no coming back from this. Just accept it and actually take responsibility. But yeah, I'm so incredibly sad how this is all played out, how he's been able to get away with this for so long because of people not speaking up. There's been so many more victims because of that. I truly hope justice will be served, and I hope that nobody gives Archie the time of day ever again. He does not have the right to tattoo ever again, and shame on anyone that supports him right now. I will of course leave all relative links down below, and I will leave some information to hotlines and stuff like that down below. Please look after you. If you have experienced something like this, then please talk to someone. This is not okay. You don't have to be silent, whether you are a fellow tattoo artist or a tattoo client. We need to make a change right now. We need to hold these people accountable. There is absolutely no room whatsoever for this kind of behaviour in the tattoo industry, in any industry, of course, fully aware. But so yeah, this is all the information that I have at the moment. Should anything change, I will update you. I hope that I don't have to do multiple parts of this. I hope it is dealt with as soon as possible. And yeah, again, I'm sorry for the heaviness of this video, but it needs to be done. And thank you so much for watching, and until my next one, bye.